If it wasn't the downed power line and the power was off, then what the hell started the fires?
But they're recommending that people wear, quote, protective face masks, goggles, gloves, long sleeves, pants, socks, and shoes to avoid skin contact with ash.
I'm Stephanie Keith.
And I am Tara Manjekovic, and we are unapologetically outspoken. Okay, Stephanie, I have to ask you, have you seen the recent news story about how Canada is warning its LGBTQ citizens that they risk traveling to the United States because of laws in some of the states here?
Oh my God. No, I have not seen that, but it really
Yeah.
doesn't surprise me. That is something they would do.
Like, we're woke, but they're really fucking woke.
Oh, they're like scary woke.
Yeah, and I didn't even know this. They call their LGBTQ whatever people 2SL GBTQI plus.
Are you
And I'm
kidding
like,
me?
what the fuck does that even mean? And apparently the 2S refers to two spirit.
Oh my, you got to be kidding. And they lead with that. They lead
Yeah,
with it.
they lead with
Wow.
that. And so as of yesterday, they are apparently warning people not to travel to the United States.
Well, good. Maybe it'll keep all the woke people in Canada then. We don't have to deal with them.
I saw that and I'm like, what the fuck? Are you serious?
That's
So
crazy. Well, did you see how they are not allowing Canadian citizens to see the news on social media?
I saw that with the fires.
Oh, it's all news. If you go on like Facebook or Instagram in Canada and you try to search like any news outlet, it'll say, you're not allowed to view this. So
Yeah,
they
because
can't see anything.
I remember during the fires, like the government was saying, like release this ban on social media so people can at least post things. But like that's where we're headed, though. We're
I was
headed.
just going to say that. I feel like that'll be what Biden tries to do next
Yeah, that's what's
here.
coming next.
Oh
But
my
I
gosh.
had to mention that because I just saw that and I was like, oh my God, this is beyond ridiculous.
Yeah.
Did you have any issues with the hurricane?
No, I mean, I was very lucky. We're a little more inland. But along the coast there was like a ton of flooding. Like South Tampa is just underwater, same with St. Pete. But this is so wild, okay? And I was getting really nervous about the hurricane because I was like, is this going to be another Maui situation? Because like a couple days, it might have even been like one day before, um, the news came out and said that if you pumped gas at one of these gas stations, and they listed like 50 of them, they were like, you could have contaminated gas and your car could stop working because apparently they put diesel in with gasoline. And so everyone was like, what the hell? Like, they don't want people to evacuate. You try to get out and you get on the interstate and then your car stops working. And this was like from Tampa to Fort Myers, which is the area that got just slammed with the last hurricane. So everyone was really worried about that. And then I saw this post from a guy who works on the barges. And he was saying, like, there's no way this is an accident. He's like, it is so tightly regulated that even if one drop of diesel were to get, in the gasoline or whatever, like, he's like, that wouldn't even happen. But if it did, it would be like a whole incident. And like, there's just no way that there would be this huge mix up to this many gas stations that had to have been planned. And so I don't know what the deal was with that. Luckily I didn't gas up at any of those places, but it just, it makes me wonder, like, what are the odds that that happens when everyone's trying to evacuate?
Exactly. What are the odds? I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah. So luckily it was okay. And like, we're fine. I think the more in the panhandle got slammed, and I haven't really heard yet like how bad it is there. But yeah, I don't trust anything now after the
I know.
whole Maui incident. So that's the other thing. Like, there is so much more to this story. And it amazes me. Like, every single time we talk, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's like 50 more things that came to light about Maui. Like, it's never ending. So remember how they had the official cause of the Maui fire from a downed power line? And like that was what, the official response was. Well, it turns out that the county sued Maui Electric before the whole investigation was even completed. But through this lawsuit, a lot of interesting facts are coming to light that are now leaving us with more questions than ever. So, according to an article by ABC News, they looked at the lawsuit and it alleged that Maui Electric was negligent during the lead up to the fires and ignored warnings of high winds and other potential fire warnings from weather officials. Well, Maui Electric confirmed Monday that downed power lines were the cause behind a morning fire near Lahaina on August 8th. But the company maintains that they had shut off the power before another fire began in the same area. And that was the fire that later engulfed the entire island. So the company released a whole timeline that showed around 6:30 a.m. on August 8th, Maui Electric said that the high winds toppled over a power line and it did cause a fire near Lahaina Luna High School. And the residents can confirm that they responded minutes later. And Maui Electric said the fire department fought the fire, and firefighters reported it was 100% contained by 9 a.m. And it was around this time that utility claimed that it shut off power. So there's, no power running at this point in time. So the article says, quote, there was no electricity flowing through the wires in the area or anywhere else on West Maui coast. And around 2 p.m., the fire department left the scene after it declared that the fire was completely extinguished. And then Maui Electric said it sent emergency crews to conduct repairs and claimed the power lines were still de-energized and the power remained off. And at first, the utilities emergency crews didn't see any smoke or fire embers. But then around 3 p.m., the crews spotted another fire that was 75 yards away near another school. And the utility crews called 911, firefighters arrived, but that's the fire that they were unable to contain, and it spread toward Lahaina. So if it wasn't the downed power line and the power was off, then what the hell started the fires? And, it's like maybe this was a direct energy weapon. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, either that or it was arson, because it's like you said, if you look at the timeline of these fires, Hawaii Electric already accepted responsibility for its power lines, causing, I guess it was actually two fires earlier in the day. But the fire that completely gutted Lahaina was 6 hours later. And they're claiming that during that 6 hours, their power lines had been shut off the whole time. So if there's no power to cause the fire, then what the fuck happened? Like, it literally doesn't make sense. And there's still been no cause determined. So everything's like still up in the air and we don't know who's responsible.
Yeah, completely up in the air. And they're avoiding questions too, which just makes it even more suspicious. So something else really bizarre that's happening is there's this guy, Jeff Singus, who is a Lahaina resident, and he's the one that's posting like all of this footage on social media. He has a drone. He's been posting it since day one. And he just posted a video showing this fencing that's blocking the view of all of Lahaina. Like they have it fenced off with this like black fence so nobody can see in. And I'm just going to play a clip of him driving through the area, and I want you to listen to what he says.
There seems to be a huge emphasis on ensuring that the media and anyone else can't see what's going on here in Lahaina, West Maui. There are miles and miles of this black fence going up that was not here before, that is obscuring ground zero and making sure no one can see what's going on inside of there from the road. No one can get in there. No one can take any pictures. And then I've also seen these weird foreign police cars showing up, these special police, I'm not sure what to call them. This is a Nissan, but there's quite a large presence of these standing guard around the perimeter. We've also lost our ability to fly drones really anywhere near this area. Now, this 20-second clip here that I tried to get out of my car and show what was going on, I was almost immediately after these 20 seconds, National Guard came, chased me off, yelled at me, told me to get back in my car and keep moving. So you cannot pull over. You can't even stop your car anywhere near any of this anymore. Now, I'm going to show you a fairly long clip that shows just how extensive the fencing is on the western side of the main highway here. And there also is National Guard, regular police, and what I have dubbed special police, which are these police cars that are foreign made. The people that are driving them they don't look like any police I've ever seen in the United States. So kind of a bizarre situation, but they have a huge presence standing guard, ensuring that nothing can be documented. You can't stop your car. You can't pull over. You can't fly a drone. You can't take a picture. You can't get in anywhere near any of this, which is part of what makes the footage that I have so unique. Now, I always make sure to point out that the footage that I have has been uploaded to the mainland to multiple people. They have the credentials to my social media. So if anything does happen to me, it's not going to prevent the story getting out. But the footage I have both on the ground and drone, but particularly on the ground, is not going to be able to be reproduced with the amount of resources they have put into locking this area down.
So it's funny how they don't seem to have resources for the people, but they have resources for this fence. Like, I have so many questions. Who are these foreign police? Why are they going to such great lengths to block the view of Lahaina? How did an island get this much material for this massive wall so quickly? I mean, what the hell, Tara? Do you know of foreign police? Like, is this something that in your experience you've run into?
You know what I was thinking while you were playing that? I was like, maybe it's the Men in Black.
Right? I know. And it's just like, the thought that I had was, let's just say, just for fun, well, not fun, but like argument's sake or whatever, that this was some type of direct energy weapon or something that maybe they don't know who it's from. Maybe it's military or someone higher up that's trying to figure out exactly who did this. Like, maybe it was an attack. I don't know, but I just think it's so weird. Like he's saying, they're going to such great lengths to make sure that, nobody can get in. And people online were commenting on this post that normal construction companies have to wait months to get that type of fencing. So they have to have like a project in the works, and it's usually, back ordered. But Maui, this island, just happened to have it.
Wait, I have an idea. Maybe they bought it from that government website where was selling all the border wall materials.
Someone did comment that. They're like, is this Trump's border wall? But they could have had it on hand if they were planning on constructing a smart city, I mean, so it's just a little weird. And the other thing that is shocking, because they keep talking about how there's like 1,000 people missing, but then the school district is saying that there are over 2,000 children unaccounted for still. And according to a report from the school's superintendent, Keith Hayashi, there are 2,025 Lahaina students, quote, who have not enrolled in another public school or opted for distance learning. Now, this could be because they moved out of state or they enrolled in a private school. But Tara, like, people are speculating that the death toll for children might be much higher than what they're reporting, and that maybe the reason there's this fencing and they're not allowing drones to fly over the area is because it's much worse than what they're saying.
Well, from what I read, the officials are telling reporters that the land search for victims is like 99% complete as of Wednesday, like 2 days ago. And I guess they're going to start searching for remaining bodies in the water, but they're not expecting to find much. And the governor has already dismissed the urban search and rescue teams, but apparently there are somewhere around 538 FEMA personnel that are still on the island. And I read an article on a local ABC News website that was talking about people posting on TikTok that more than 180 bodies have washed ashore on Lanai, which is an island east of Maui. Have you seen that?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess the Maui PD is denying it, And they're saying that as of August 29th, no bodies have washed ashore on Lanai at all. And the county of Maui is saying the same thing on their official Instagram page. And they're saying that this is rumors and misinformation. And apparently the US Coast Guard has also been helping with search and rescue efforts, and they're claiming that no bodies have washed ashore on Lanai. So again, this begs the question, where are all the missing people? And why are none of the mainstream outlets covering the fact that so many children are unaccounted for?
Right. Yeah. If there are 2,000 children missing, I mean, there's no answer. And right. And that's what's so crazy is like, I think last time we talked about that news reporter that just went off on the mayor and he's like, where are the kids? Where are the children? And they don't want to address it. So they're just making themselves look guilty, like there's something going on. And there's been so many rumors on TikTok. So I don't know what's true and what's not true. There was one girl saying she works in the morgue and that she's seen 450 bodies come through there while they're reporting 100. Who knows if that's true? I have no idea. There's other people reporting that FEMA was like disposing of these bodies or something. Who knows? But the fact remains, like, where are all these kids?
Yeah.
You know, like, and why aren't they addressing it? It'd be one thing if they were at least addressing it and answering questions, but they're completely avoiding these questions, which seems very odd. And then you have the Biden administration that's trying to link the disaster relief funding with Ukraine funding because they probably know that Congress wouldn't approve all this additional Ukraine funding, which they shouldn't. And so they're putting it together with the Maui funding. And James Comer, the House Oversight Committee lead, just announced that they are opening an investigation into the tax dollars being spent on the Maui fires. He said it's apparent the people of Hawaii don't feel like they've gotten any support from the government or needed supplies. And the Biden administration was super slow at getting aid there. And there are all of these people saying that aid packages were being held and not being handed out to the people. So they're looking into it, and I'm glad they're investigating it. But my God, this Congress, like, they have their hands full with all these investigations from this shady administration.
I know, it's ridiculous. And like House Speaker McCarthy made a statement on Wednesday about this investigation. And he was saying that he was, quote, very concerned about the Biden administration's response and the fact that over 1,000 people are still missing and unaccounted for. And he said, quote, how could we lose that many Americans in today's age? The federal response seems very delayed. The president's response had no comment. That's unacceptable. And he's fucking right. Like, and then you have KJP who's trying to defend Biden's response by saying that, you know, FEMA administrators were there for 2 whole days on the ground at the president's request. And then I don't even know what she's saying here. She said, quote, to make sure the government has what they have. The local government has what they have. The people of Maui have what they have. And that's what you're going to see. Like, what the fuck does she even say there?
Okay. Did you see the news clip where Biden, I think they posted it on ABC News, where he was talking about this FEMA administrator, and then he like slips and he says he's been there waiting since before the fire started.
No.
I'll send it to you. Yes, he said that, and everyone's like, wait a minute. Was that on purpose? Was that a slip of the tongue? Like, or is he just senile, which he is, but like, so yeah, very shady.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I feel like this incident was the turning point for a lot of people where Biden fucked up because look, he made it clear he didn't care about the people in East Palestine, Ohio with the train derailment. And then this time he's on vacation. He's lounging on the beach with his buddies. He doesn't say anything about what's going on in Maui for over a week. And then when he did make his no comment statement, he did it with a fucking smile on his face, right? And when did the fire start? August 8th. And when did he actually go to Maui? Not until August 21st. That's 13 fucking days, Stephanie. Like, too little, too late, fucker. And then when he finally does show up, he tries to compare people losing everything, including their children and family members, to a fucking fire in his kitchen, and then makes jokes about how the ground is hot. Like, what the actual fuck? Like, did you hear his press conference on Wednesday?
No.
Okay, So he was giving an official statement on the federal response to the Maui fires and then Hurricane Idalia. And he was talking to reporters about people being unable to find their loved ones. And his ending remarks were, quote, "What can I tell you?" So I want to play this clip because it's really fucking disturbing and it's classic Biden.
We'll be able to remove all the debris, but it's going to be frustrating as a devil for people. I say, why can't I go back? Storm's over. Why can't I go back and look and see if I can find that wedding ring, or I can find that album? Can't find that thing that I've lost in the house. It's really tough, really, really tough. I didn't anything like that, but lightning struck my house. We had to be out of that house for about 7 months. I was repaired because so much damage was done to the house, and half the house almost collapsed. You know, and you wonder what's going to happen. We've already dedicated $400 million to pay for the debris removal. Once we get the toxic stuff out, take all the removal, and the federal government's going to pay for that. The state is not paying for that. And we're going to dedicate more if necessary. But I want to be clear with the people of Maui about what to expect. The work we're doing is going to take time, in some cases, a long time. We're going to do it in a way to make sure we're respectful to the wishes of the traditions of the people of Hawaii as well. The process of removing hazardous material and cleaning the environmental damage means folks can't get back in the area right away. The start of school has been disrupted. It's painful. I get it. What can I tell you?
What can I tell you? What a piece of shit. Like, there is not one sincere bone in this man's body. And if anyone who's hearing that does not see through the bullshit by this point, like, nobody in Lahaina cares about your fucking house fire.
Which, by the way, that fire, they have said multiple times, is fake. He had a kitchen fire that was extinguished in 20 minutes.
If he's talking about the same fire or if he's talking about something else, because this time he's talking about lightning.
No, they've looked and they were like, he has not had a house fire other than that kitchen fire. Like, everything he says is a fucking lie.
Yeah. Yeah, a house fire where he said so much damage was done to the house that half the house almost collapsed.
Nope,
like,
lying.
Talking about. And even if that was true, like, you are rich as fuck with all the millions of dollars of embezzled and stolen money that you have. So I don't think the people of Lahaina, who lost everything, really care that you were inconvenienced if you couldn't stay in your house for 7 months, because you didn't end up homeless with your belongings destroyed and dead or missing family members not allowed to go back into your community. I'm sure you just went to your vacation home and like lived it up until your house was repaired. So shut the fuck up. Like, every time this man opens his mouth, not only is it a lie, like just lie after lie after lie, but it's a slap in the face to the American people. And are there a ton of FEMA and federal resources in Maui now, like he said? Yeah, of course there are, because it's 3 fucking weeks later. And they had to make it look like they actually care and that they're doing something. And they need government officials to cover up whatever shady shit they have going on there with not being able to recover all these missing people.
Well, speaking of taking 3 weeks, Oprah and The Rock just posted on TikTok that they're creating a fund that's going to help the Maui people directly. It's like 3 weeks later, where were you 3 weeks ago when people had nothing, nothing but the shirt on their back? Like, I don't know. It's just like really weird how I feel like these people are only doing it now to save face because they're getting so much hate for not doing a damn thing and leaving these people to just fend for themselves.
And on top of that you sent me that video. It looks like a fucking infomercial. Like,
oh yeah,
they're selling, like, they're happy and selling a product, and
they're
it's
like laughing and they're like, oh, we love it, we love it. I'm like, these people just went through the most horrific thing you could possibly imagine, and you're making a cute little video about it. Like,
infomercial video.
Meanwhile, you have 2,000 acres and a huge estate you're not even using. You're not going to offer that up, though, are you? Like, it's just so unreal. And all of the comments were like, screw these people. Like, I think people are waking up to all of this nonsense from these elites that don't care about anything but themselves.
Yeah.
And so, we've talked already about how all of the things that have gone wrong with this. For every step of the way, they either completely, just didn't know what they were doing, or this was total corruption. And like the Maui emergency sirens, I found out they're the largest siren system in the world. And their website clearly lists wildfires as one of the reasons to use the sirens. And all of these people that have been going on social media that live there, they said they know that the sirens are used for multiple things. They test them out all the time. Huh?
For emergencies.
Right. And they all the people know when you hear this, you go on like whatever their emergency radio station is, and they give you directions. So it's like that whole thing was just definitely bogus. Like they purposefully did not want to alert people. And I don't know. I just think like looking at the whole story with the water, and it wasn't, that someone just dropped the ball. They made the decision not to release extra fire because of their stupid woke policies. And if that weren't enough, the residents that are saying, like, multiple of them are speaking up now and showing actual video footage of the police blockades. It's not just word of mouth. They are showing video of roads being blocked off left and right. And the crazy thing is, the people that survived that were on Front Street were the people who left their homes, left their cars, and went through the blockades or jumped in the ocean. It was the people that did not comply and ignored the orders that they were being given. And I think that everyone needs to remember that. Like, if your gut is telling you something isn't right, don't ignore it because the government is giving you an order. Like, I think that's an important lesson that we all should keep in mind and, moving forward. Because the people that did comply were trapped and they died. And so it's just crazy that all of this is known. These are facts. There's video footage of it, but no news outlets want to talk about it. No, no one wants to talk about like the corruption that has taken place. Why were they blocking off all these roads and not letting people out?
Yeah, and here's another thing. Like, the EPA and the Department of Health are telling the residents of Maui to start wearing personal protective equipment. And they're saying that the air is unsafe, and they're claiming it's due to like hazardous waste material like paint and cleaners and batteries and pesticides that were in people's homes when they burned. But they're recommending that people wear, quote, protective face masks, goggles, gloves, long sleeves, pants, socks, and shoes to avoid skin contact with ash. Is that normal? Because even in my limited experience, and I have not been exposed to a fire of this extent where an entire fucking city is burned, but in my experience, this is not normal. And the Hawaii Department of Health in Maui County are also warning residents not to drink the tap water. And they're saying, even if it's boiled, don't do it. Use bottled water for drinking, cooking, brushing your teeth, etc., until further notice. And they're saying that residents are unable to treat the water in any way to make it safe. And then these warnings, I'm sorry, like these warnings and recommendations, it's like, again, this is 3 weeks later, like too little too late. And according to Maui County Council member Tamara Paulton, I guess she chairs their disaster committee. And she said that people who volunteered to help with the cleanup operations have already started reporting adverse effects from like toxic materials. One woman was coughing up blood after being there for a few days. Another resident reported like burning in her chest and throat after doing evacuations. And then one guy was talking about like coughing up black stuff. And I know that when you're exposed to smoke and you inhale it, you're going to cough up shit, but not to this extent.
But
right?
wearing gloves and long sleeve, I mean, it sounds like a nuclear, like how you would react to that, which is very interesting because when you look at the wreckage and like those cars, it looks like a nuclear explosion. It doesn't look like a normal wildfire.
Exactly. And I guess this past Monday, there was a press conference where FEMA officials said that it would take 6 months to a year to clean up the debris, and that there currently is no plan for allowing any of the residents to return to the disaster area. And like that guy was saying in the video you played, or the audio you played, it's being restricted by the government to authorize personnel only. And Maui officials are claiming that this is because the site has like toxic cancer-causing chemicals and broken glass and exposed electrical wires and other dangers. But again, not normal for a wildfire. So what the fuck is really going on?
Or you tell everyone that to get them the hell out of the way so you can buy up the land and rebuild your smart city or whatever it is, they were planning on doing. I mean, regardless of what the reason is, it's just another wrong step. It's another piece of corruption. And it's like, you can't make this up. I mean, every day there's more and more being revealed. Like, this is nothing about this is normal. It's clearly got wrongdoing all over it. And again, like, whether it's the government, some other government, like, I don't know, but there's way too many shady things going on. And I think that, if it weren't for social media, this would be brushed under the rug very easily. And I don't think they were expecting it to get this much coverage. And people would still be talking about it. So that's why, like, I'm passionate about continuing to talk about it, because this is so wrong. After 6 months, these people, what are these people going to do for 6 months? Where are they going to go? I mean, it's awful.
They should go to Oprah's house and just take over the land. Like,
right? She has 2,000 acres.
Native Americans did with Alcatraz back in the day. All the people of Maui should do a fucking takeover of Oprah's property.
They should. And I'm going to be posting on our TikTok. I mean, the people are going to these city council meetings and they're letting them have it. And they're calling all of this out. I mean, they're all on the same page that this isn't right. What is going on? Why is the governor immediately saying that he's going to buy our land? And, they're calling it out. And I mean, I hope they get somewhere with it. I really do. Because this is just like an absolute tragedy, and it keeps getting worse every step of the way. It's unbelievable. So anyhow, now I'm all like revved up again about Maui. I hope things will get better soon, but we'll keep everyone posted. And again, you guys can follow along on TikTok because we're posting stuff every day about this, any updates that come out. And we'll see you back here on Monday. So everyone have a great weekend, and thanks for tuning in. If you're sick of all the crazy shit going on in our country and you want to express your support and patriotism for the show, head on over to our Etsy store at UO Patriot Chicks and check out our new stickers. The link can also be found on our website. If you love the show and you want exclusive episodes, support the podcast and join the conversation by becoming a member of our Patreon community. We'll be posting weekly member-only podcast episodes and content that isn't available on the weekly podcast. Every Patreon member will also get a free Unapologetically Outspoken sticker and updates about our new sticker release before they're made public. And be sure to follow us on TikTok at Unapologetically Outspoken. And if you haven't done so already, please rate and review the podcast. The more you support us, the more people we can reach. So help us spread the word.